Recently, I have finished the first version of the particles for the Will of the Gods. And I must say that I thought to myself that it will take like a day or two max, maybe 3, nothing more. But I was so gravely mistaken here. In my mind, the hardest piece of doing this was to just find the particles. Like, there is so much to choose from, there's an asset store full of those things. It would be hard to compare those, to pick anything, and to build something on top of it. And I was mistaken in here. This was like the easiest part of those. It just took some time. I just went to the asset store, compared a few of the asset creators when I was looking for those who have like many particles so I can fill them out or fill them in when I'm missing something. Then I gathered all of those artists in an Excel. I went to my wife and asked her for help to choose me one. Because as you may know from my previous video, I have like a little bit broken sense of what is nice and what is not. And it is always nice to ask someone to like help you out when you have a problem with starting things off. So I showed her this Excel with all of the artists, we went through it, and we together picked a HAL studio. His particles are looking nice, they are not so cartoonish, and he has lots of them so I can fill in more. But I ended up with a one package, RPG VFX bundle. It has everything and I didn't require to buy anything more. So that step was really nice and easy, much more easy than I thought. The last thing I had to do was removing some part of those particles, or maybe extending sometimes or lowering the durations. And that's it. And now, here comes the pain! And by the pain, I mean sound effects. So, from this perspective, I'm pretty sure that I cannot visualize the sound for you. So I will try to soundalize it for you. And at the beginning, just listen to this. Yeah, so I have zero experience with getting the sounds for the game. And those were the things I was hearing for a whole week. My mind was blown. But I will get back to this later. So I started with something rather simple. I tried to get the sound of a strike, of like a sword hitting a shield or something like this. I found them, I showed them to my wife, and she said to me, no, this doesn't work at all. And I was like, honey, I spent a whole day on this. And she was like, no, Marchie, it doesn't work at all. It sounds bad. You picked the bad sound for this. This is not working. It's not gonna work. So let me show you the initial version of a strike, which is 3 hits, one after the another. Yeah, so I think that she was totally right. And I was sitting there frustrated, being angry at myself that I spent wasted whole day on picking just this sound because I don't know what to do. I really know that I need to change strategy. And I need to change it drastically into the super different direction. So what I did something totally horrible. I went into the open game art and I listened to all of the sound effects that are there. Every one of them. And I was wondering if I'm not wasting my time by doing so, because I'm not thinking about how to pick the sound, how to do it. But on the other hand, I know myself and I know how my brain works. It doesn't work that I will sit down and I will figure out the new way how to listen to the sounds and how to pick them. The best thing for me to do is just to sit down there and listen to those sounds and let my brain figure out what he really needs from those. Just pick the sounds, gather them, put them in a spreadsheet, just listen to them, analyze them, etc, etc. Let your brain do the work non-actively. It's like I need to meet them and they need to introduce themselves to me, something like this. And it took 2 days, 2 whole days to listen to all of the sounds. Also, I was working with a Zapsplat, so I was checking the sounds there and my brain was just exploding. I was all the time hearing I went home with an enormous headache, my head was bursting, my wife was talking to me, I couldn't listen to her. I was just all time thinking about all of those sounds, I was speaking some kind of nonsense and I was all time repeating those sounds in my head. I was like trying to be one with them, but it was so painful. But then the day number 3 came and I started listening to those once more and I suddenly had this glimpse like, oh, this sound will fit perfectly into a strike and I can like shorten it, like a little bit, give a little bit speed up, I can like change it tempo, etc, etc. And suddenly I gathered all of those sounds and I gathered myself some kind of library and things automatically started to work. My brain just processed everything in the background when I was sleeping, all of those cacophonic things, and suddenly it started clicking. So I guess the rest of the video will be showcase of what I have done, and I will present all of the effects with the sounds to you. And if I may ask you a question, please write which one of the effects and the sound you like the most and which one you think is the worst. For now, see ya and boy! Enjoy looking at my hard work, which took much of my time.